Good morning. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm Maria Vlahu, Executive Director of Aspecto Cultura. I'm a white woman in her 50s, shoulder-high light brown hair, green eyes. I'm wearing a black jumper, and behind me there is part of my bookcase and a poster of a Byzantine art exhibition. We know that in some countries around Europe, there are theaters that are experimenting with recorded audio description for live performances. Countries like Spain and Italy, which are represented here today in our debate, but also Belgium, France, England. So we were curious to know why this option, how it is going, and not only on the side of theaters and technology companies, but also from the side of the spectators, members of the audience with visual impairments. So for this debate, for this conversation today, we have with us Irene Di Chiaro from Teatro Stabile di Torino. Thank you, Irene. And Irene has invited two more people for this conversation. Christian Bruno, who's a member of the audience, and he will be accompanied by his wife, Tiana Tremboni, who will help also with the translation. And also David Mas from Panthea, which is the company Teatro Stabile di Torino is collaborating in this. We also have with us Javier Jiménez Dorado from the project Teatro Accesible. Thank you, Javier. And Javier has invited Marisa Morales Piga, who's also accompanied by her son, Luis Sanchez, who will help with the translation. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. This will be something like a Babel Tower today. We'll speak in whatever language it seems, but we'll manage. So maybe I'll start with you, Irene. We would like to know why your theater has started experimenting with recorded ID for live performances.
Okay.
And what you think are the strong points of this option, and if there are any issues you're still facing.
Okay. Hi, everybody. First of all, thank you for the invitation. I'm Irene. I'm a white woman. I'm 38 years old. I have curly hair, and I'm 7 months pregnant, so I'm not alone. I'm part of the Engagement, Communication and Development Department at Teatro Stabile di Torino. Just a few words about our foundation. We are one of the 7 national theaters recognized by the Italian Ministry of Culture. We produce and we host drama, musical theater, and contemporary dance in 3 different theaters in the city of Turin, in the northwest of Italy. We also manage an actor's school and a research center. And just to give you an idea of our size, we program around 50 different titles for more than 400 replicas each season. So to better explain to you why we choose recorded AD solution, I'd like to give you a brief overview of our accessibility project and our story. We started 3 years ago to design our accessibility plan, and in summer 2021 we started to use a multi-channel subtitle system available on individual devices given to audience, smart glasses, smartphone and tablet as they prefer. In addition, we started to produce audio introduction broadcasted in theaters at the beginning of accessible performances. We started to produce accessible materials such as videos in sign language with audio and subtitles, simplified programs, simplified plots, and we also started to organize engaging experiences like touch tours on stage and relaxed performances. So, but the missing part was audio description. So we decided during the second accessible season in 2022-23 to find a way to offer also this support to our blind and visually impaired audience. And for that reason, in very deep collaboration with Pantia, we adopted an integrated system of transmission of subtitles and pre-recorded audio description files. So a few months ago, exactly in May 2023, we tested this system, and starting from the current season, we are regularly offering AD plus subtitles in our accessible performances. Thanks to Pantia's software, and thanks to the individual devices that can be set on different channels, text, audio, or video, we can transmit at the same time subtitles and audio files. It means that, just feel free to interrupt me if something is not clear. It means that one person in the control room live follow the progress of the show, transmit subtitles and audio files, following, as we always say, the breathing of performance. What about the strong points of the system? The first for us is replicability. I mean, in terms of economic and also organizational sustainability. Thanks to this system, we can program all week with 6 replicas for each accessible titles, and not just a single event. And in this way, AD and subtitles are available for almost 50 performances for season. And the audience in this way has more freedom in choosing when to attend accessible shows. And another strong point, according to us, is the quality of audio descriptions, because the pre-recorded system can provide accuracy of sentences and clarity of speech. We have to add an important aspect within our staff working on accessible content. There is a professional speaker who knows very well the production, the timing, the accessible rules to follow. She's in charge of recording audio files, as she can quickly, from one day, from one evening to the next, make any changes. So if needed, we can easily replace any audio file.
Okay, so you mean if something changes in the show, in the performance,
exactly,
in a more permanent way, you can quickly update the audio description.
From one evening to the next.
Okay. Yeah. I think one of the main questions here would be, a live performance is a live performance. There are things that don't happen the same way, and there are also things we can sometimes happen unexpectedly. Yeah. How has it happened, and how have you dealt with that?
Yeah, in fact, yes, this is the weak point. I mean, the pre-recorded system doesn't work very well for unstaged new production, or for shows which are very improvised and who don't that do not stick to the script and to plan stage movements. Luckily, you can skip AD files in case of changes during the show, but you can add live description. But this is a problem, an inconvenience that you can have also with subtitles. So for this reason, we decided to follow a few simple rules for the selection of accessible titles. So we start to resolve the problem at the beginning. I mean, choosing the right titles. So if it's one of our new production, we make it accessible from the third week of programs. It means that we have 2 weeks to work on it and to let the production defines itself better. If it's a guested show, it must have debuted at least 1 month before. So it's the time we needed to prepare accessible contents working on videos and scripts. And we usually avoid to make accessible production if improvisation is one of the main and characteristic aspect. So this
do
is
you think this is fair to people with disability, with visual impairments, that the choice of the shows that will have access resources are those that are, you know, maybe easier to prepare in advance in terms of audio description and subtitles?
I think you have always to do try to choose. Yes, of course, because also in terms of contents, in terms of accessibility of the piece. So I think it's part of the game to have some choice, but you have considered that we offer 8 different titles accessible for each season. It means that we try to have a wide offer and a very different type of shows. So I think we can protect this kind of freedom to choose which shows to attend.
Two quick questions before we pass to David and Javier to hear a bit more about the technical parts. Have you ever done live AD in your performances?
No. In fact, no.
You've always worked with recorded.
Yeah.
Okay. And so far, was there anything really unexpected that happened during a show and you had to deal with it in terms of audio description as well?
Not really, because we generally program and host very professional shows, so the approach is very strict to the script. So our kind of artistic proposal, it's very we don't really program improvised shows, so we can handle this problem considering the type of drama and theater we program. So it's good for our size, this kind of solution.
Great. Thank you, Irene. Maybe we can hear a bit from David now to find out a bit more in a clear language, please, because we're not all experts in technology. How does this work? What does a theater need to have in order to have good recorded audio description?
Hello, thanks for having me with you. My name is David. I'm 44 years old, white, living in Berlin, having brown hair and a beard that's getting grayer and grayer. I'm in the office right now. So first I wanted to state that what we are doing is just one solution among others. So basically, you have to see how to grant accessibility in the best way for each production according to the artistic proposal, the public structure, the architecture, the direction, the team of the theater, of the venue. So there are a lot of aspects that has to be taken into account. And I think that the accessibility process is something that has to be driven and held and managed by the theaters and by the people and by the teams itself. So this is very important, and in collaboration with the audiences, the public, the concerned people, with experts, with or without disabilities, and we are just one part of this mosaic. So we come from surtitling, which is a discipline known in opera and theater, where you have prepared titles and you have a person operating the titles live during the show. That's exactly what happens, because every show is unique. You will never see 2 times the same show, so everything has to be very on point. Otherwise, it can be perceived as disturbing. So this maybe is also a possible answer to your question, if it's not unfair to not propose certain shows for a public with certain disabilities, but if in a way it's just too difficult, for example, for because everybody is speaking at the same time, or it's improvised, or everything is changing, I think we would just create a frustration that is not helpful for the public. And then if you want to have this play accessible, then you have to find another solution. For example, a live audio description, or an introduction, or live sign language, or whatever. But then there's another solution that is better. So there is also very important that we're not talking about a technical solution where you push the button and one size fits all, and then that's the miracle solution. But it can be a solution for, and this is, I think, the most important thing, that for a regularity, that you don't have to, that you're not fixed on one single date where you have to go, but that you can state, this show is accessible for all dates, please come and enjoy.
Yeah. You're bringing up a very important point, that we don't consider one solution as the only solution, and we may be freer to make our programming and decide what's best for each show. How, because I believe this might be an issue, a concern, how do you guarantee the maximum of synchronization? I understood from what Irene shared with us that there is a person who live is advancing both with surtitles and audio files. Is that it?
Exactly. You have, because it has to be on point, then you have in audio description, you have like the moments where nothing is said on stage are the moments where you can describe. Sometimes you also have audio titles when there is a foreign spoken language on stage, and then you need to translate the surtitles. Normally you do this with 2 different voices, so that you have a separation of it. And and then, sorry if I just wanted to add one last point for the presentation. So for us, and I think for everybody, it always has to be a teamwork, and you have to gather teams of experts, and there is expertise in different kinds of fields, in accessibility, in theater, in technology, in logistic, in everything. And all these teams has to work together and has to exchange. Otherwise, it's not possible.
One more question. The person who deals with the audio files during the performance, is it the audio describer who worked on the script, or is it another technician at the theater who's taking care of that?
Normally, you have a person that is in a way the project manager of the file, and this person is running the surtitles at the same time, and setting up for the evening, running the stuff, communicating with everybody. So normally, this person collaborates with the person who made an audio description script that was recorded and cross-checked with a blind person for if it's understandable, if it's sometimes it's too much, and
a consultant.
Exactly. So this
Yeah,
is a
okay.
team, and then they give the the files to the person handling the surtitle file, and then there is an exchange and a collaboration about, because there are like pre-given spots where you can
Exactly.
enter, and then you have to say like, okay, here you have 2 seconds, here you have 5 seconds, and sometimes if it's very important, then you have to go over the
Yeah.
other, because then it's so crucial for understanding that you have to do it. But it's a very precise and demanding work that also has its cost. But on the long run, when you say like we can propose then several shows or a series with this technology, then you can have advantages.
Yes.
For a one shot, I would always prefer the live audio description, because it's just no sense in building all this complexity for then one show. So if you ask me honestly, live is always better, but we cannot, in terms of for many reasons, like kind of, it would be ideal in a way to have live every night.
That's what, on the balance, really, having one performance in the best conditions and live, for a live performance, live audio description is the answer. At the same time, here in Portugal also, we have people with visual impairments who like to go to the theater, and they feel somehow that they don't have the freedom to choose when they want to go to the theater. So that's what's on the balance. That's what we've been discussing. So let's go to Javier in Spain. Javier, I don't know if in terms of technology, the issues are the same as with what David shared with us. And how has this option of recorded audio description been introduced to Spanish theaters?
Okay, thank you, Maria. Nice to meet you all. I'm happy because I agree with everything that my colleague has mentioned before. So the first
could you quickly self-describe, please, Javier?
Hey, thank you. Sorry. I had it prepared. I forgot it. I am a 40-year-old white man, dark with beard and glasses, and a few gray hair in my in my head. But okay, this is me. I am the CEO of Apten. Apten is a company that was born in 2011, 13 years ago, and we were focused on accessibility and technology, communication accessibility mainly. So one of our main projects, our first project, were Teatro Accesible, accessible theater. You know why we started with this project. The question was, the main problem that we saw in Spain, and I think it's very common in other countries, is not that, of course, there are hundred, a lot of people with disability. We know about that, and we have advanced a lot. But we realized that the disability, of course, is not the problem. The problem was that, for example, in Spain, only 1.6% of the people with disability used their spare time in going, attending to events, cultural events. You know, it was, and it is, a very low participation in cultural activity. No, and the problem is because of mainly the lack of accessibility. There is no accessibility in a lot of cultural events. So taking this big problem, we thought in a very similar solution that David Irene has told. It's important to say that we are not a company or a theater, a venue. We are a kind of provider of different services, products and technical solutions, and also we are very interested in helping theaters or companies in designing their own accessibility plan. So depending on the grade of the project, we can offer services, technology. For example, we work with Started. It's a software similar to Pantia. I have taken some notes. For example,
maybe, sorry to interrupt you, Javier, maybe to
no.
concentrate on what you think are the strong points of choosing recorded AD, and what are the issues you're still dealing with.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, because this introduction, I was going to the point. From the very beginning, we were very worried about reducing costs because of the main thing for us was that my colleague has told before, one technician or one person could launch subtitles, audio description, and also we provide other services like induction loops, so on. So we send just one person to a theater, and we provide a lot of services. So we needed a software to combine both things. So the software is very similar. One person has to synchronize, but we have the audio description pre-recorded. I have to say that with the experience, the team, from the script and to the technician who will launch the performance, has learned some tips, in order to adapt for live theater. It is important to say that we consider that this method, it is very, very useful with a very high quality, even compared to live, but we know that it is not live, but for textual theater, I think we can achieve a very good quality. Of course, performance, parade, dance, there are another scenic performance that we recommend, and also we do live audio description. But for theater or performance that very scheduled or very with very well without the improvisation, we can do it. I have to add that also at the beginning we started recording a professional voice, human voice, but we realized that it wasn't so necessary. It was much more expensive and slow. So we moved to text-to-speech voices in different languages. So we create the audio description normally pre-recorded and with IA. For example, I don't know if maybe I have more notes, but if you want to ask me another thing.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking we could hear from your guests, who are actually the people who need this kind of resource in order to have access to the performances. So as I said in the beginning, we have with us Christian Bruno, who was invited by Teatro Stabile di Torino, and we have Marisa Morales Piga, who was invited by Javier. Marisa, I see your face at this moment because Christian has his camera off still. Maybe I could start with you And thank again, Luis, your son, for helping us with the translation. I have two questions for you, and you can answer in Spanish, and we'll translate. Did you go to the theater before the possibility of having performances with audio description? What has changed having the resource of audio description? And what was the quality of your experience?
Buenos días a todos. En primer lugar, muchísimas gracias por permitirme compartir mi experiencia con todos vosotros. Mi nombre es María Luisa Morales Piga. No os digo mi edad, es la que aparento. Soy madre de 2 hijos. Luis es uno de ellos que me va a ayudar en la traducción y tengo 5 nietos. Soy doctora en Historia del Arte, he sido profesora de arte, bibliotecaria de universidad e investigadora. Me quedé ciega hace 2 años, un poquito más, a raíz de un accidente. Mi ceguera es total, no percibo ni luz. Desde el primer momento intenté recuperar mi vida normal y en concreto lo que concierne al ocio y la cultura, he contado con ayuda concretamente de la empresa Teatro Accesible. Me preguntas, María, mi experiencia pues es de gratitud hacia la empresa y de admiración. Gratitud porque me permite disfrutar de esa afición tan enorme que tengo como es el teatro y la zarzuela. Y admiración porque soy consciente de la dificultad que entraña, por una parte, la cuestión tecnológica, que es fundamental para cualquier persona, por supuesto, para un ciego, que llegue bien el sonido, que no haya... Perdón.
Maria, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if you want to translate just...
I'm taking notes, Luis, so
Okay.
we'll let Marisa finish and
Okay.
I'll translate, yeah.
Okay, continúa.
Sí, perdón. Te respondo ya directamente a a las preguntas que me habías hecho, y que, como te digo, mi experiencia es muy gratificante porque me permite, como decía, disfrutar del teatro en plenitud, casi como si viera. Y en cuanto a la empresa, han logrado un nivel muy, muy elevado, porque no hay desfase en absoluto, a pesar de que está grabado, nunca he notado un desfase. Y por otra parte, el contenido de la descripción, que para un ciego es fundamental, es muy elevado, muy adecuado. Voy con frecuencia al teatro, por eso hablo con conocimiento de causa. Madrid tiene una oferta en este sentido muy amplia. Suelo ir 3, 4 veces al mes entre teatro y zarzuela. Además, la empresa Teatro Accesible ha incorporado una experiencia fantástica, que es subir al escenario para poder tocar el vestuario y el mobiliario. Los ciegos vemos a través de las manos y a través del oído. Y bueno, en general los 4 sentidos que tenemos suplen el que nos falta. A mí en concreto, porque no percibo ni luz, lo que me suple esa falta de luz es la descripción. Y cuando lo hacen con tanto nivel y calidad, y soy consciente de lo difícil que es describir, porque yo misma cuando era profesora de arte sabía lo que suponía, permiten que en el cerebro, en la región occipital, que es donde realmente se realiza el acto de la visión, se reproduzcan las imágenes, gracias precisamente a esa descripción.
Yes. Sorry.
No, perdón, solamente termino, de ahí mi agradecimiento.
One more question, Marisa. Have you ever attended a show with live performance? Live audio description, and did you feel any difference?
No, realmente no. Y a las funciones que yo acudo no lo echo de menos, porque otra cosa muy diferente sería una retransmisión en directo, pues digo, de un desfile de modelos, por ejemplo. Pero una obra de teatro o una zarzuela, ya el guión está establecido y prácticamente no hay variaciones. Yo, de hecho, por mi experiencia puedo decir que nunca he notado ninguna deficiencia. Solo he notado una vez, pero bueno, una cuestión técnica, que hubo un problema de sonido, nada más.
Okay.
Mhm.
Gracias, Marisa. So I will quickly translate what Marisa shared with us. First of all, Marisa became blind 2 years ago due to an accident. So after this happened, and she doesn't have any perception of light at this moment, she wanted to go back to her life and to the things she enjoyed. Through the project Accessible Theatre, Teatro Accesible, she managed to go back to theatre. She goes very often, 3 to 4 times a month. And Madrid has a quite intense offer for people with visual impairments. She feels that the quality of the technology is quite high. She never felt there was any lack of synchronization, and the sound is very good. She also enjoys the fact that before the performance, she can go on stage and get to know more about the setting, the costumes, and the actors. It's very important, of course, we know that from all experiences, how important audio description is for people with visual impairments to have access to the performance. She never attended a performance with live audio description, but so far in her experience, she hasn't felt a difference because the quality of the experience that is offered to her is quite high. Only once there was a problem with the sound, and that was it. Gracias, Marisa. And maybe now we can pass also to Christian. Christian, would you like, there you are. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, Diana, also for helping us with the translation. So the questions are the same. Have you attended, sorry, what is the quality of your experience with recorded audio description for live performances? We start with that.
Buongiorno, sono Christian Bruno e Diana Tromboni.
Buongiorno a tutti.
Noi,
Buongiorno.
oltre che marito e moglie, ci occupiamo di cultura accessibile presso l'Unione Ciechi della sezione di Torino. Ma io voglio riagganciarmi a quanto ha detto Marisa. Questa possibilità per noi non vedenti o ipovedenti di accedere al teatro con una descrizione di quanto avviene sul palco senza dubbio aumenta la possibilità di fruizione. Nello specifico, perché vorrei proprio attenzionare lo specifico di questo sistema, la grande particolarità che ha è che permette ogni sera, nelle varie repliche, di andare a teatro senza dover per forza attendere un operatore fisico che vada a descrivere in persona la rappresentazione, perché la libertà di poter scegliere la data in base anche alle esigenze che ha la persona non vedente è fondamentale, e questo sistema senza dubbio è fondamentale. Io poi lascio la parola a Diana, ma voglio solo aggiungere ancora che quello che fa il teatro stabile, cioè nel raccontare anche al pubblico vedente quello che avverrà in quella rappresentazione, cioè l'esperienza tattile sul palco e dopo l'audiodescrizione, ci mette in connessione con tutto il pubblico vedente, che si inizia a porre dei quesiti, delle domande su questa iniziativa, e magari qualcuno di loro lo approfondisce avvicinandosi anche alla disabilità. Devo dire che è aumentato moltissimo il numero di persone che va a teatro. Do la parola a Diana se vuole aggiungere.
Sì, io
Grazie, Christian.
buongiorno, io stessa prima andavo decisamente meno a teatro perché dovevo sempre sperare che lo spettacolo fosse abbastanza, come dire, parlato, verboso, in maniera da poterne usufruire. E oltretutto anche la persona che mi accompagnava doveva descrivermi la scena, quindi non godevi appieno dello spettacolo. Ora con l'audiodescrizione e in più col tour tattile sul palco si gode appieno, se ne usufruisce appieno dello spettacolo, perché sai esattamente com'è fatta la scenografia, entri nel contesto dello spettacolo e con l'audiodescrizione ne usufruisci esattamente come tutti, per cui insomma ho cominciato ad andare molto molto di più a teatro.
And what is the quality of your experience? Have you felt there are any issues that keep you from fully enjoying a live performance?
La qualità dell'esperienza, secondo me, come questo sistema, no? Come i difetti, i difetti.
Ma no, cioè
Questo sistema che stanno utilizzando come...
No, e vabbè, cioè mi trovo bene perché comunque anticipando la scena che verrà, insomma, mi dà la possibilità di sapere che cosa sta succedendo sul palco, quindi...
Se posso aggiungere, la differenza tra l'audiodescrizione fatta da una persona che è lì presente può senza dubbio correggere delle problematiche che magari sorgono perché si va a documentare sempre un'attività in diretta, no? Quindi gli attori possono anche improvvisare a volte. Però c'è da dire che la peculiarità di questo sistema è quella che è sempre attiva, cioè io so che ogni sera quando vado è sempre presente. Quindi è una qualità alta da quel profilo di inclusione, perché io scelgo quando andare con magari un mio amico, un mio parente, una persona che viene con me e lo faccio in grande libertà e questo sistema dà questa opportunità.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much. Grazie. So very, very confident. You want to stay a bit more with us, or you're leaving?
No, Maria, no, just one point that is important.
Yeah.
If you can let me just clarify one question is one of the things that my mother. I'm sorry, I'm not in the camera. I'm here. One of the questions my mother said, and I think is very very important for her is the Teatro Accesible allows, in this case, to my mother, just to go before the show and to go to touch the furniture,
the stage, yeah,
the clothes, to talk with the actors. And this is very important to put in context what later on in the show they will hear in the so this is
we talked about that, and that is something that happens anyway with live audio description or apparently recorded, this part before the show where people can go to have a description of the stage, of the costumes, listen to the voices of the actors. Thank you. So just to quickly translate, very confident of my Italian. Irene, please help if I don't, but I think I got it. So Christian and Diana, they're a couple, and they are also associated to the Blind People's Association in the area of Torino. I think what mainly comes out is the possibility of the freedom of choosing when you want to go to the theater and with whom. They don't have to choose a specific date, and that freedom was quite Christian insisted very much on that, and it's understandable. They particularly like to feel part of the audience because also the rest of the audience understands that there is an audio description. They are part of the offer of the resources the theater is offering to blind audiences, and maybe like that they become more aware of disability as well. Diana shared with us that before she used to go much less to the theater. She would choose performances that had there were mainly spoken performances, a lot of words, but then she wouldn't have access to everything that was visual. For instance, the setting. They don't find any. They have no concerns. The technology has been working well for them. And once again, in the end, they talked once again about the freedom of choosing when to go to the theater. So thank you all for everything you've shared with us so far. We have about 10 minutes still. So I would like to know if our colleagues who have joined this discussion today have any comments or specific questions to ask our guests. Please feel free to turn on your cameras and mics if you want to talk. Talk in whatever language you want. We are prepared for everything. Any questions or comments? No?
Maybe can I add something
Sure.
to what Christian said? Because he was speaking about the importance of the awareness of a regular audience to know what's happened about the accessible system. In fact, we also offer during accessible performances an audio introduction that is broadcasted at
For
the
everyone.
beginning for everyone.
Yeah.
And during this audio introduction, we of course say that this is an accessible performance. What does it mean to program an accessible performance? We give some information about scene, costume, characters, the size of the stage. And this is a very important moment to share the concept of accessibility, that it's not common in Italy.
Yeah.
It's a news. So
yeah, that's a very good point, Irene. Thank you for going back to that, because it's something also we want to suggest to theaters in Portugal in the initial usually there is this part where people can go an hour before and have access to the setting and the costumes, etc. But we think it is very important that in the initial announcement before the show starts, when they tell people, they remind people to turn their mobiles off, etc., we do feel there should be a reference to the audio description, because many people are not aware of it. And I also remember once in a very intimate show, there was the cabin of the audio describer, and most people, I think they had no idea what that was, or maybe even thought it was part of the performance. So yeah, we think of doing that, of reminding theaters also in Portugal to include this information, at least that such and such performance is audio described. Thank you. Anybody else who would like? Yes.
Yeah, I can't put my
Mariana,
camera
yes.
on. Yes, but I just like to ask Irene about this audio introduction. If in this is a description of the room too, it's an audio description too to all the people, not just or just a reminder of this is an accessible performance and.
No, there is a short description of the scenes and the list of the characters, and the content depend also on the director, because we shared before, of course, with him the text of the audio description, audio introduction. And we always ask to one of the actor on scene to record the audio introduction, because it's a way to engage also the artistic team into this process of changement. So generally is the main character or one of the actor of the company that record this audio introduction. But the point is during one evening we have around 800 spectators, so we have a big audience that can be aware about what does mean to do an accessible performance.
Yeah, maybe also to add,
cool. Yeah.
Sorry, Mariana, maybe also to add that there are theaters that give this information in advance on their website. The so-called audio introduction can come in a text or even a video, and people can have access to it before going to the theater through the website. But I really like the idea of, making it part of the...
hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, we also do it. I mean, we prepare in advance this video that is like 7 minutes of video. It's like a long program, very detailed, about the plot, the scene, the costume, and all the technical information to attend the performance. And this video is in a sign language, but there is also audio, so it can be listened to it, and also subtitles. So it's a design for all material. No? It can be used by different audience. So we also give this content before attending the show.
Great. Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Mariana. Any more questions or comments? We still have 4 minutes if
María.
anybody. Yes, Marisa.
Disculpa, quería añadir algo más a la exposición anterior y es, por una parte, que la empresa Teatro Accesible solamente es contratada por entidades públicas, no teatros privados, porque obviamente supone un coste. Y respecto a la introducción, nos contextualizan y hacen una introducción previa a la función. Nos citan 1 hora y media antes y suelen hacer una introducción de la época, al autor, también para las personas que nos acompañan, no solo para los discapacitados. Esto se complementa con el recorrido táctil por el escenario, que no es habitual en España, pero que lo hace la empresa de la que estamos hablando, Teatro Accesible, y que es muy enriquecedora. Tocar mobiliario, vestuario, hablar con los actores. Y cuando nos dan el audio, también hay una introducción, pero eso solamente para las personas discapacitadas que disponemos de ese audio. Y ahí también nos vuelven a explicar el vestuario y todas las características técnicas que nos ayudan a ver, porque realmente nos hacen ver lo que se está realizando y desarrollando en la escena.
Gracias, Marisa. So Marisa wanted to add that, first of all, these kind of services are hired mainly by public organizations. Javier, is it a question of costs or because private theaters cannot or are not interested?
Well, thank you. It is not exactly. We work with public and private. Of course, public theaters, you know, are leading this transformation of scenic art in Spain, at least. But in fact, one of our purpose for these years is spreading the accessibility also for private theaters. We work now with a big, for example, Focus in Spain. He has many production, and also he managed several theaters in Barcelona. But we are very, very interested in, you know, in getting the accessibility to every company, small theater companies, not only the big one or the public one. That's why we see very, very useful recorded audio description, for example, for this you know, segment of the market, if we can say.
Okay. Also, to just finish what Marisa shared with us, there is also people can go to the theater with their companions an hour and a half before. They have an introduction, not only regarding audio description. First, they can have an introduction on the performance itself, on the play itself, on the story, the characters. And then they get into the audio description of the setting. They're able to touch the costumes, etc. And then there is also an introduction, an audio introduction with more or less the same information, but specifically for visually impaired people. So I think that's it for now. That's it for now. I know there are theaters in Portugal who are considering this option. We'll wait and see how this develops also in this country. We would like to thank you very much for your time, for everything you shared with us, Irene, David, Javier, Marisa, Christian, and also your companions, Luis and Diana. And we hope to be in touch and see any further developments in these and other areas of access. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.